insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Your hometown heroes at your local Farm Bureau insurance agents. I'm Matt. Beav is here. Y'all are here. And get on in here. It's a free-for-all Friday, particularly this time of year, July the 11th, post-Independence Day, July 4th, pre-media days and football starting and all that kind of stuff, kind of smack dab in the middle. Pre-vacation for me. Yeah, that'll be toes in the sand and covered in sunscreen for a week and all that's coming up. But all I know is that today is Friday and you've made it. Congratulations. So get on in here. What you got going on? What do you want to get into? You can be a part of the show in several different ways. You can comment on the live stream. Hey to you. If you're out there on YouTube or Facebook or X, formerly Twitter, feel free to drop a comment right there. I can see it on the screen. Pop it up on the screen. We can all talk that way. You can also text me on the Country Pleasing text line. The number to text is 885-3776. 601 number, 885-3776. Text me. Now, don't text if you're driving. That'd be bad. It'd be dangerous for you and everybody else. Otherwise, text away. Whatever you want to get into is cool with me. You can also call me. The number to call the show, that way I get to hear your voice, 897-1059. Got it? 897-1059. Give me a shout. Hey, and by the way, yes, okay, since we were last on the air with you back on Wednesday, a development on the roster of participants for the upcoming Home Run Derby at next week's All-Star Game festivities. Little local flavor. Yep. Brent Rooker, former Diamond Dog, former Triple Crown winner in the SEC, and what was it, first-round draft pick, I think? And he came up with the Twins, and now he's over in the A's. He's a starter for the A's. And I think he's sitting at 19 home runs right now, unless he hit one yesterday or something. So on pace for 40 or so, but is one of those guys that can put on a light show in BP, which is essentially what the Home Run Derby is going to be. So I've got another reason to watch. I wonder if the same is true for you. And Denzel, thanks for texting me that. His text specifically said this was announced yesterday. Forget Cal Raleigh. This is your winner. Calling it now. Now, I'm excited to see it. Do you really think Rooker's going to win it, Denzel? All right. Let's check in. Beav, happy Friday. I got to get here in a little bit. Okay, so for those that don't know, sometimes I play the Always Sunny music. Well, I pretty much always do when I'm in the regular Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. They are your home team. And I play the Always Sunny music. And he's a big fan of the show. I am, have been too over the years. Hilarious show. And they've come back now. The Always Sunny deal has come back. And we're going to get a review at some point from B. I think you watched. And I think I mentioned to him on Wednesday, I'm okay with spoilers also. You want to give me some spoilers, that's fine. I'll tell you what else. The King of the Hill thing's coming back around too. So we can get updates on all of that as well from Beaver coming up on today's show. But pretty much whatever you want to get into is cool with me. And, look, it's kind of like it probably doesn't need to be said. However, we have said it, and I guess it doesn't hurt to be said again. But, man, it's a time of year where things really do get interesting. One Well, no. Interesting is not the right word. Where things do really get uninteresting from a sports perspective. I mean, I've been having conversations like this. The other day when we were doing the show live at the Junction with Philip Prince and company, and he's a big basketball guy, played at Southern Miss, and he's got a daughter playing there, and they're just like a basketball family. He's a sports fan, though. But, I posed the question, who would have been the greatest one-on-one basketball player ever? Well, you have those kinds of things. It's also list season, which that'll be coming up here. Certainly once you get into next week and you have media days for what used to be called media days for the conference. I think they're calling it the kickoff thing now, but whatever it is, it's not media really. But you get into that, you start getting all these different lists. And so we're kind of in list season and summer topic season. Who would have been the blankety blank of all time? In that case, who would have been the greatest one-on-one basketball player of all time? And then, again, talking about the time of year it is, I texted him this morning and I said, okay, now again, keep in mind we're July the 11th, okay? I said, would Steph Curry be the greatest horse player of all time? And you know what I mean? Like the game of horse. You miss, you don't match the opponent's shot, you put a letter on, the first one to horse loses. So would he have been the greatest horse player of all time? He fires back with Pete Maravich. Pistol Pete, with the trick shots and that kind of thing. Thinks that he would have been the greatest horse player of all time. See what I mean, though? You don't necessarily have those kinds of conversations just going via text message with your buddies in, late September, mid-March. You don't. But July the 11th, you do. And I know y'all kind of feel my pain on that, but it's just kind of where we are right now. There is some news, and not necessarily results from any sort of contests or games, but there is some news out there. You do have all-star stuff coming up. And, yeah, regrettably, I've sort of been pulled in to what feels like Tampa Bay Rays fandom. I've told the story a bunch, but it's because of, rooting for Jake Mangum. He finally got called up by the Rays this year, and so I've really got interested to watch him play and watch them play. And they were pretty good as a team, chasing the division lead for most of the year, and they've been fun to watch. But, man, they've been in some kind of swoon here the last week and a half leading up to the All-Star break. I don't know what the record is overall. I haven't counted it, but I can tell you it's bad because they've dropped all the way to 4.5 games back in the division. They only have a half-game lead over the Red Sox now. I mean, the Orioles are pretty comfortably in last place in the division. But if the Rays lose tonight to Boston, and they lost last night to the Red Sox in Boston. If they lose again to the Red Sox tonight in Boston, then the Rays will go from I'm serious. About 10 days ago, they were within a half game of the lead. They were a half game out of the division lead. If they lose tonight, they will be in next to last place in that division. That's the kind of, streak they've had. I'll tell you here, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They've lost 9 of their last 12 games. Okay, 5 of their last 7. You want to flip it around and look at it from a different angle. They've won 3 of their last 12 games. I mean, you talk about they were cruising along and outscoring everybody, and you talk about going backward. Right after they swept the Royals, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Orioles. They lost 2 out of 3 to the A's, who are terrible. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Twins. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Tigers, who are really good. And then lost again last night to the Red Sox. I don't know. Like they've fallen apart all of a sudden. Going to make it tough on themselves in the second half. But stop rolling your eyes. I'm just telling you, even if you you like me and you picked up and started following Jake Mangum. He's still hitting the ball. He had a pinch hit single last night. But they've struggled. So he had an all-star game coming up, and then you get into the second half of the year, it's going to feel different because in about a month we'll have football practice going on and be getting closer and closer to games, and everything will feel, a good bit different. Let's see here. Unnamed texter says, looking for ideas on what to plant in my food plots this season. Have any thoughts? Yeah, well, I don't know. What to plant, I guess it might depend on a lot of things. Like, what have you planted in the past? How'd it go? Where are you? What kind of property are we talking about? You're going to burn it off first? And like, what's that all going to be? Some of those things might determine it, right? But if y'all are listening and you're a food plot expert, I'll hook you up here. His question was looking for ideas on what to plant in my food plots this season. Have any thoughts? If y'all have any thoughts, let me know. I'll pass them along. J-Rock texted the show. What's up, J-Rock? On this Friday, he said Caitlin Clark would be hard to beat in horse. Yeah, I bet. But again, think about it. Who would have been the greatest all-time basketball player in the game of horse? And again, mid-July question right there. Kenny, don't call me Ken. He texted the show. He said, I always thought horse was kind of boring, no action. Yeah, right, unless you're playing. Yeah, be hard to watch. Didn't they sometime recently they tried to televise horse? Nick texts the show. He says, I'm old enough to remember Michael Jordan beat Bird in horse for a bag of McDonald's by going over the river, off the billboard, through the window, off the floor, nothing but net. I mean, Nick, in terms of sports commercials over the years with, either sports related or with sports stars in them, that's pretty much at the top of the list. Think about it. Since we're in list season, if we were to make a list, you could probably actually look up somewhere where somebody's listed it out or graded them or ranked them or whatever. But how would you top that? Of iconic sports figures in advertising moments, the Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, off the billboard, through the window, off the floor, nothing but that, is probably at the top of the list. What else would... Again, Nick, you say you're old enough to remember it. I guess you would have to be of a certain age. Remember the Larry Johnson grandma commercials? Again, you'd have to be of a certain age to remember it, but when he was with the Charlotte Hornets, Larry Johnson out of UNLV, and he was pretty recognizable. Those were good, funny, entertaining commercials, sports related. What else? Of course, the Pittsburgh Steelers back in the day, Mean Joe Green. Remember the Coke commercial where in exchange for the jersey, the kid gives him a Coke in the tunnel after the ball game. So I think what we're talking about, early 80s? That one's iconic. I've rattled all three. Any others? Denzel. White Denzel says, what to plant this year? He says, call MDOT, find out what kind of grass is in the medians on the interstates. There's your answer. Why? Because deer love it. Yeah, or along the Natchez Trace. Hunter on YouTube says, the greatest horse basketball player of all time, would, in his opinion, would have been Larry Bird. I wondered about this morning, Lewis. I really did. I thought about him. He said, I'd have to put Chris Jackson, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf on that horse list, Mississippi flavor. But he'd be one of those that would probably would never lose. Even now, probably would never lose. Back over to the text line. Nick remembers Grandmama. It wasn't Grandma, it was Grandmama. Larry Johnson teamed up with Urkel to win a 2-on-2 tournament versus Eddie. Sure did. I forgot about that on Family Matters. That was great. That makes me want to go back and YouTube it, watch it again. Hadn't seen it in years. Hail State fan on YouTube, he said, baseball is the strangest of all sports. My Astros swept the Dodgers in L.A. and then got swept at home by Cleveland, who'd lost 10 in a row prior to sweeping Houston. Yeah, right. You know, that's a great example, isn't it? And every year, some of these teams will just, you know, they just kind of are who they are. Good teams win a bunch of games all of June and May and June, and, you know, for 2 months, it just kind of, everybody's steady. The bad teams consistently lose and losing 2 out of 3 and all that. And then every year you'll get within like a week of the All-Star break, and all you know what'll break loose. Some team will catch fire like the Blue Jays have this year. Some team will swoon like the Rays are doing. And then the second half, I guess you never really know. Anything can happen. It starts to get serious then. But yeah, it's strange. I mean, it is. It's the least predictable. That's what I would say. I'd say football, especially high-level football, like college and NFL, I think it is the most predictable. Basketball, second most. Baseball, the least predictable of the major sports. Night in, night out. Let's play more games, too. White Denzel says the Larry Johnson grandma commercials is what landed him a cameo as his grandma character on Family Matters. Yeah, and that's what Nick was talking about. They really were. It's interesting, right? Because great basketball players, all-timers, nobody's, including Larry Johnson, in that deal. But you're just not, you know. But in terms of commercials. You know, and the other one, too, so Barkley and the Turable thing, but I don't even remember what he was advertising. Do you? But the one where, you know, he's over the pool table and he stands up and he says Turable. Okay, that's pretty iconic, but you don't go there first when you start thinking about it. Oh, yeah, but again, the point remains. I'd argue the two most memorable and iconic commercials or ad campaigns that involved sports figures. The one Nick mentioned where you had Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, off the billboard, through the garage, this, that, and the other, nothing but net, playing a game of horse. And then all the CG that went along with it, animated graphics and other stuff. And then also the late 70s, early 80s, whenever that was, the Mean Joe Green Steelers commercial for Coca-Cola. The kid says here, and he gives him his jersey, you know. And I remember always thinking, man, I know that kid got that jersey. You know, I realize it is a neat thing, game worn from an NFL player, but you know good and well it smelled bad. Anybody that's ever played football, you know. Right after a ball game, thing's been hanging on them shoulder pads you've been practicing in for 3 months. And you know that you had to ride home with that thing with the window down. Hey, and Denzel, thanks for this. He says, I got a picture here to prove it. Let's see. Trey Lamb shot +3 to qualify for a tournament. This is Oklahoma Golf Association State Am qualifier. Tulsa football head ball coach, Oklahoma Golf Association State Am. Trey Lamb shot a +3 to qualify. Tournament starts July 21st. Wait a minute. Denzel, are you saying that you're saying this is the head football coach at Tulsa? And he went, let's just say if it's par 72, he goes and shoots a 75 somewhere and qualified for the Oklahoma Golf Association State Amateur? Wow. Now that's really neat. A couple of things about that. One, never heard of Trey Lamb. And I'm aware of Tulsa football, and you'd think I'd have known. But I did not know this was their head coach. Two, I know a couple of years ago, but I think last year too, I was thinking Steve Spurrier Jr. was at Tulsa coaching on the offensive side of the ball. Makes me wonder if he's still there. Three, over here, I've seen it on social media. People are criticizing Hugh Freeze at Auburn for playing so much golf. Well, we got one over here that's going to be busy at the end of the month. I don't even know what league Tulsa's in anymore, but if they have media days, Trey Lamb may not be able to go. He's got to play in a golf tournament. How about that? That's pretty cool. All right. More of your texts, and we'll kind of get into it. Hey, and by the way, did y'all see that video where the hockey player tossed that guy into the lake? They were fighting at a golf course. He just threw him in the lake. More on that. I got to see if Beaver saw that also. Coming up, back after this. Y'all heard me talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. When I say they do quality stuff, they really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, MurrayWest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered, sewn on to anything, custom apparel and other stuff, make sure you go there. Murray West, you can find them online. MurrayWest.com. That's MURRY West.com.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that, what that is. That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
I was born and raised in Greenville. I've always called Greenville home. This is where I, was raised, went to high school, graduated high school, worked all my life here, leading up to going to college. So even when I moved from Greenville, I always told people, they asked me where you're from, I always said I'm from Greenville. I have mother, father, brother, niece, aunt, all live here in Greenville. So this is home. This is where I, live, and I've just always called it home. Small town, I feel like I could walk in any place tomorrow and know 2 to 3 people in there. It's small town. Someone's on the side of the road broken down. Hey, you need a boost, flat tire, you need help changing it. You know, that's just kind of, you know, what I love about this area. The blues and the food and everything that comes along with the Mississippi Delta that I love. You know, I tell people all the time.
On 105.9 and coming to you worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you, I'm Matt. In the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Farm Bureau Go! With the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Your hometown heroes, that's your local Farm Bureau Insurance agents. The background noises, that is the opening of the thermos, pouring some hot coffee into my mug. Hot coffee from High Point Roasters in New Albany, Mississippi. You can get it roasted right here in Mississippi. I think they are the oldest coffee roasters we have in the state of Mississippi. They've been at it a long time. And if you go to their website, big 1-pound bags you can order, so you're not going to run out anytime soon. You get a little more, you know, than the normal order or reorder of coffee. You can get it ground or whole bean, single origin from all over the world. You'll see that. You pick it and choose it. And they're different. You can try them and tell them. But also blends that they've developed over the years that you're really going to like. That right there I just poured in my cup is Campfire Blend. And again, you can get it right there online. It'll show up in your mailbox. You know, the mailbox, all your mail will smell good. When you open the mailbox, it's just go to highpointroasters.com and order it right there. We're talking about sports-related commercials earlier. Craig commented on YouTube. He said Michael Jordan and Spike Lee Nike commercials were memorable. They certainly were. Hunter says, I still like the ESPN commercials from the 2000s when they had different mascots and players working in the office. Yeah, back when they were original and actually funny and actually had a soul. Hunter also said the Barclays I'm No Role Model commercial was great. Somebody else brought this up. The Maddox, Smoltz, Glavine, the Braves guys, and they had that Chicks Dig the Long Ball commercial. That was really well done, too. And you put that one way up there. Somebody mentioned the Dick Butkus and Bubba Smith commercials. Those were great. Bubba Smith, you recognize him from Police Academy, right? Yeah, those were great. Let's see if all is well and settled in there in the Metro with our favorite producer, Beaver. B. Hey, B. Tell More Bully to call back later. Is it not More Bully? Who is it then? Tell him to call back. Don't. Oh, I did. Okay, listen, Denzel, that's what made me think of it. You sent that text that had the coach playing golf on there. It made me think about this. So I'm sure you did, right? It went berserk over the last few days. I had somebody I was having dinner with a couple nights ago that said, hey, look at this. And I had seen it. Annabeth hadn't seen it. And so he pulled it up on his phone. And it was the guy throwing. There's these amateur golfers. You've seen the videos. People pull their phones out and they get to arguing. And next thing you know, like these guys are going to fight right here beside the tee box on some golf course somewhere. And one guy gets picked up and thrown into the pond. The way the fight started was this big guy picked up the little guy and threw him into the pond. Which, let's back up. I say the little guy, like he's a normal size guy. I don't know, 5'11", whatever pounds. And he's full of, he's full of confidence, a.k.a. alcohol. Surprise, surprise. And, he's yelling at somebody off camera, bowing up at him and like flexing at him and screaming. And then all of a sudden, they begin to convene. And then when you see what happens is the guy he's hollering and screaming at and trying to he's acting like he's a rabid dog foaming at the mouth, yelling at this guy. Well, the guy he's been doing this to is a big dude. When I say big, I don't mean fat. I mean, he's pretty tall. He's probably at least in that 6'2", 6'3" range. He might have been taller than that. Broad-shouldered, big, huge forearms and big hands, and like all of a sudden, like they tie up. The next thing you see, this guy, like an NFL offensive guard running power in the old days. Okay, he's ISO'd on a linebacker and is driving him down the field. That's what it looked like. And this guy drives him, backpedaling, drives him right over to the edge of the pond and just heaves him into the pond. That's how the fight started. This man had to pull himself out of the pond. Well, then he went back for some more, and he, proceeded to get pummeled by this big dude. I hate that kind of violence, the fighting stuff, whatever. We've talked about it before. It never solves anything. It's not like you're ever solving anything when those things happen. But he goes back for more. The big guy proceeds to just at will. There's nothing to stop it. There's nothing this other guy can do. The big guy lands 2 or 3 punches, and every time he hit him, he goes, bam! He was commentating his own fight. And it was one of those where this big guy is big and strong, and you could tell he could have done a lot of damage if he wanted to, but he didn't. He was basically holding himself back. But then at some point, the guy comes back, and again, he picks him up and just throws him like a rag doll. Just threw him in the air, off the cart path, into the bahia grass next to the rough. Okay, so you see all this. Well, then, as Tyler says, on the Country Pleasing text line, Country Pleasing sausage on grocery store shelves all throughout the Southeast, it's the best. As Tyler says, the big guy in that video is a retired NHL player. Okay. That's what I read. Now, there's several things about it. One, you can look at him and tell he's a retired something. I don't know exactly what he is retired. You wouldn't have to know. You wouldn't have to tell me. You would not have to tell me retired hockey player. I could have told you. He's a retired something. So you would think that the guy who sort of instigated all this by going after him, I don't know what they're arguing about, slow play, whatever. Sometimes you just need to say, yes, sir. Okay. How high? I mean, you need to know. I know we all have pride and you don't want to get bossed around by somebody, but right or wrong, man, you can't fight the guy. So you could tell by looking at him, he's retired. So it comes out he's a retired NHL player. Then you're not surprised. Okay, and have you ever yourself, I'm asking y'all this, have you ever bumped into a former hockey player? Like gotten to know one, see one? As far as I may have encountered some hockey players, that I either don't remember or didn't know, but that I remember and that I know. I know one, he's a really nice guy. He's actually running one of the golf courses in the Tupelo area, and he has a daughter who's a really good golfer, amateur golfer. Mike is his first name. Mike, didn't play in the NHL, but I think was like very good and was like a step away and from playing at that level. And not only is he a great guy, but was a great athlete. And years and years and years ago, I played golf with him one time, and he's a pretty good golfer too. But again, post-hockey career, he got into law enforcement, right? And he's just one of these that, you can tell from a distance, hey, yeah, you don't want to fight that guy. You probably just want to leave him alone. If at all possible. You can just tell you. The other thing too, okay, so the hockey thing. You can only imagine, if you've ever played any sports at all where you're on 2 feet on solid ground, basketball, football, baseball. So you can only imagine the sort of lower body strength and balance and just center of gravity you develop if you're playing that sport on skates on ice. And that's the other thing. These hockey guys, man, the lower body strength is sort of a next level deal because they all have to have it to play that sport. They have to have it. It's a baseline requirement that you are way above average lower body strength, balance, center of gravity, all that kind of stuff. So if you are someone who has ever at any point in your life, whether it was last week or in the 4th grade 30 years ago, doesn't matter. If you've ever been in any sort of scruff or scrum or fight or wrestling match where you tie up with another person, you know full well how important balance and strength in that lower body is. Yeah, it's just like a offensive lineman trying to block another human being that doesn't want to go somewhere. Well, those hockey guys have it. You can't, a normal person, you can't do anything with that. So of all the videos I've seen, what I'm saying is, yeah, it's bad. He got thrown in the lake once, got thrown into the bushes another time. He did get popped in the head 2 or 3 times. Buddy, I'm telling you, it could have been a lot worse. That hockey player was holding back. And maybe the lesson in the whole thing is this. Stop with this idea that you have to drink cases of beer during a round of golf. Stop with it. Stop it. I know they want to sell it to you. It ain't good for you. You're going to do something dumb eventually. Stop. Example A, watch that video. Back after this.
This is Jake Mangum, former Mississippi State Bulldog. On the field, I've got to be ready for anything. And off
I'm
the
𝐷𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬
here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I am Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both. Break me off a piece of that. Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, "Country pleasing, please." They'll know what you're talking about.
Grew up on a family farm out past Leland, just born and raised here in the Mississippi Delta. Never really thought about moving out. You know, it's where my roots are. Our family's a big sports family. It was 4 boys and 1 girl, and all 4 of us boys went and played ball at Delta Community College. My dad, he's always been honestly a role model of mine. He's farmed his whole life. We attend St. James Catholic Church in Leland, where we went to church my whole life, and then now continuing my family, me and my wife and my 3 kids. Being a Christian is everything for me and my family. Being born and raised here in this area, there's just something about this area. I mean, when you pull into it, you don't see a whole lot, but being born and raised here and the farm families and just the people that grew up here, the people that you see here, you see in the grocery store, you go to church with, small town community, you're gonna run into people that you know. It puts a smile on your face knowing that you know the people in your area, in your community. get to know them as friends, and now bring them in to my office here and creating that relationship, extending it on, getting them as insureds, as customers of mine, who I call friend. I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau, and we are the home team.
Y'all heard me talk about Murray West and murraywest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. I say they do quality stuff. They really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, murraywest.com.
You're going to hear about them all and get to talk about it with Matt Wyatt right here, right now on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you, I'm Matt. In the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. Yeah, PT for MSU texted the show. And he said, if a man is big enough, strong enough to throw me into a pond, I'm probably going to cut my losses right there. But that's just me. And see, I think if you go watch the video, I don't even know if throw is the right word, because he just drove him into the pond. Like an offensive lineman would drive a defender out of the play. You know what I mean? That's maybe a better way to describe it. Let's see. Let me see if I can figure out who this guy is that did it. Nick Tarnasky. Canadian golf course. It has gone viral. A golf course brawl has gone viral after former NHL player Nick Tarnasky fights off another golfer and shoved him into the pond. Shove. Okay, so there you go. Shoved him into the pond. This is, by the way, when you say it's gone viral, this is People Magazine. It's the online version of People Magazine reporting on this. Did you even know that People Magazine still existed? A representative for Red Deer Minor Hockey, a Canadian youth organization where Tarnasky is a head coach, said they are investigating the incident. Tarnasky played 6 seasons in the NHL. Big, strong rascal, y'all. That's what he is. Okay, but get this. Former NHL player Nick Tarnasky's employer says they are investigating after a video appears to show Tarnasky brawling with another player on a Canadian golf course has gone viral. But the thing, it says brawling, but I mean, really, this is a one-sided deal. In the video, a golfer can be seen shouting and clapping as someone tries to tell his group to leave. When one of the men told him, "You're not scaring anybody," he suddenly headed straight for a man who appears to be Tarnasky. Again, why would you do that? Of all the people, why? There's only one explanation. This is an idiot / drunk or both. That's it. Hate to say it. After the scuffle, Tarnasky appears to shove him off into a pond and later punched him when he reemerges from the water and goes towards Tarnasky again. Okay, what's there to investigate? You can watch the video. Okay, and the guy, it is true, as dumb a decision as it was, the guy went towards him. So verbal, we're yelling. Okay, we're doing the Tennessee baseball thing. We're not fighting, we're just yelling. Tennessee baseball, we're just mouthing off. Okay, but then, real testosterone started kicking in. And here comes this guy off the tee box who had no business going after this Tarnasky guy. And he goes after him. And shortly after that, camera then swings around where you can see what's being filmed. And Tarnasky has this guy on a sled, on skates, driving him down. I'm talking, it's an offensive lineman coach's dream. If this were in football practice, there would have been a massive celebration upon the job this guy did driving this guy. He just drove him back and whoosh, right? And yeah, if it was me being driven in the pond, I probably wouldn't laugh that way. Okay, but then, again, if I'm liquored up, what excuse do I have? Into the pond. But it says, the guy got punched when he reemerged. I'm reading it. Reemerged from the water, goes towards him again. Man, cut your losses. Hey, sir, I'm sorry. Can we laugh this off and just move on, please? I mean, that's all you got to do. Former NHL player can be heard screaming, enough, get out, at the golfer as he threw him to the ground. It's just one after the other. Shoved him into a pond, punched him, threw him to the ground. This cat had no chance with this guy. The man was able to walk away and did not appear to be seriously injured. See, that's what I'm saying. What do you investigate? Because it's as simple as this. Had Tarnasky, this NHL player, had he wanted to injure the guy, he definitely could have. And in everything that he did do, you can tell he really doesn't want to be doing it. He doesn't want to hurt him. And certainly could. All he had to do was snap and decide he wanted it, and he could hurt him. And he didn't. And the guy was not injured. That's how in control the NHL player was. Okay. And I'm not an NHL hockey fan. Okay. I can't claim to be because I don't know that much about it. But I do have an interest. I want to learn it. Never too late. Old dog, new tricks. I think you could do that. So I could maybe learn it and begin to follow it and that kind of thing. But I have a great appreciation for it. Okay. And like I said, all you got to do is meet one former high-level hockey player, and as an athlete, you go, okay, like these dudes are real now. This is the real deal in terms of strength and athleticism. Yeah, they're not second fiddle to any other professional athlete in terms of strength and athleticism. They may not jump as high as Kobe and MJ, and they may not hit a ball as far as Barry Bonds. Okay, but strength and athleticism and what they do, it's next level. Okay, and these guys are next level athletes. And these cats, they're as strong as they are in the lower body. Again, you're not doing anything with them. It would be the same as deciding you're going to tie up, and we're not talking about like throwing punches. You're going to tie up and like push and shove and manhandle like an NFL offensive lineman. You're not doing anything. You're hopeless. You're helpless. That was the situation you had in this. And it says that they're investigating it. The man was able to walk away, did not appear to be seriously injured, reached by phone the Alberta Springs Golf Resort in Red Deer, Canada, declined to provide additional information. A representative for Red Deer Minor Hockey, a Canadian youth organization where Tarnasky is a head coach, confirmed that the former NHL player is in the video and said they are investigating the incident. Quote, We are aware of a video circulating on social media. I bet you are. Everybody is. At this time, given that we understand the matter is being reviewed by local policing authorities, we are conducting our own internal investigation into the alleged incident. We will have no further comment. They did get the mounted police. Check that out. 5:47 p.m., the Royal Canadian Mounted Police got a report about an intoxicated person causing a disturbance and fighting at the golf course. Upon arrival, quote, upon arrival, the involved party was gone and the disturbance was over. Well, upon arrival, the police say upon arrival, the involved party was gone. Did you check the pond? Yeah, you should have looked in there. He might have thrown it. For all we know, they stopped filming. He threw him in the pond again. Maybe the second time in the drink, and the guy realized I should just stay here. Hey, Mr. NHL hockey player, if you want to hit me now, you're going to have to come in this pond. Staying in here. I think I might have stayed in here the first time. I don't know, though. I've been known to do some dumb stuff. Bodine Dog text the show, Matt, when you played at State, who was one of the best quarterbacks you ever played against? Love the show, Bodine. One of the best ever played against was Dante Culpepper at UCF. And there were a bunch of good ones. Damian Craig at Auburn. Who else? See, Herb Tyler was a quarterback at LSU during those days. He was really, really good in college. Didn't get to play any NFL football that I know of. Mike Bobo, played against him. Georgia a couple times. Yeah, but I would say, certainly in terms of NFL stuff, I mean, I was on the team the year we played against Peyton Manning in Tennessee in Knoxville, but I wasn't playing. I did shake his hand after the game. I just redshirted, so I was only dressed out. But played against Dante Culpepper. He was at UCF, and of course, big arm. And man, when he threw the football that day, of course, when they were on the field, I'm watching on the sideline. When he threw the football that day, it whistled. It had twice the RPMs on it that it did when I threw it. Seemed like. And he threw it, and it whistled a tight spiral. All right. Hour 1 in the books. Hour 2 coming up. And there's news on the NCAA enforcement front. Don't laugh. Stop laughing. It's a real story. Back after this.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I am Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and murraywest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. When I say they do quality stuff, they really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, murraywest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered, sewn on to anything,
custom apparel, and other stuff. Make sure you go there. Murray West. You can find them online. MurrayWest.com. That's MURRY West.com.
I had this opportunity come up through a friend of mine that was an agent here at Farm Bureau that, you know, he said this may be something I like to do because he knew I was involved in the community. And what we do, we're supporting the community. We're doing stuff to protect the members of our community. I've been here almost a decade. And what we do, we help people every day through the products we sell. We make recommendations to them, stuff to protect their assets, protect their lives, their families, and you know, we're local. We're local people. Everybody that works in this office has grown up here, lived here, played ball in this community. I've coached in this community, been on the park boards, the sports league boards, the booster club boards. The community is what's important here in Farm Bureau. We push the local community. We're a Mississippi company. That's a Washington School team ball from 2019. Greg Wallace was the head coach then, and him and I were really good friends. I've been in Greenville my whole entire life. My family's been here. This is home. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to support the people of Washington County, protect them. I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County. We are the home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, "Country pleasing, please." They'll know what you're talking about.
For themselves.
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text BEAT to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful Fed incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text BEAT to 42424. That's BEAT to 42424. Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
This portion of the Matt Wyatt Show is brought to you by Ameristar Casino in Vicksburg. Ameristar Casino in Vicksburg is your place for quality entertainment. Be it the End Zone Sportsbook, where you can not only play the game, but watch any sport you want year-round. Check out Bella's on the second floor. Also the Heritage Buffet and Bourbon Steakhouse on the third deck. And don't forget about the Red Lotus Asian Cuisine on the bottom floor across from the End Zone. The Bottleneck Blues Ball on the weekend. So stay playing dine at Central Mississippi's premier gaming destination, Ameristar Casino Hotel. Gambling problem? Call 888-777-9696.
WRKS Pickens Jackson.
We are good to go.
With more of the Matt Wyatt Show. Coming to you direct and live at the Zone 105.9 and worldwide.
Now, here we go.
At the Zone1059.com.
Back with you, I'm Matt, in the Bureau. The Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau all across the state of Mississippi. You're talking about that big hockey player, the viral video where this golfer was yelling at him, and so he picked him up, threw him in the pond. The guy should have never gone after him. Scott commented on the country pleasing text line. He said, you knew that he was a hockey player when the fight started because he grabbed his shirt with one hand and humiliated him with the other. And yep, that's how they do it, isn't it? They reach out there, arm's length, see who's got the best reach, grab onto your collar or your shirt, and then here we go. That's kind of how it looked. But he was holding back the whole time. He was just teaching him a lesson. Is all. It could have been a lot worse, in my humble opinion. Yeah, you can text the show like Scott. Country Pleasing text line 885-3776. That's a 601 number, 885-3776. Country Pleasing sausage. I had jalapeno and cheddar for breakfast this morning, along with some bread that I toasted and saturated it with some of that sorghum from French Camp. Annabeth brought me some sorghum syrup from French Camp a while back. I like that stuff. You can also call me. Number to call on the phone, 897-1059. That's a 601 number, 897-1059. Speaking of, on the phone, line 1, Rooster hanging on. What's up, Rooster? Thanks for calling.
Yeah. Where were you yesterday? I tried to call.
You did? Well,
Yeah,
I thought you listened. I thought you listened every day, and if we were talking about something you wanted to talk about, you called us. But you're telling me you just call whether you listen or not.
No, you've heard my comments. I don't listen to that Chuck Oliver. No.
Okay.
And after your show goes off, I don't listen to your station. No. It's yours only.
Well, I'd like to encourage you to listen at other times. But anyway, go ahead.
I want to thank you for having the Prince on. That was fantastic. I wish I'd have been there.
Well, good.
That was a great show.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, those are nice folks.
Oh, it was sensational. It really was.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that. You know, I didn't know what was going on with that guy, but so I'm gonna go check out the Junction. I sure am.
Yeah.
But listen, the negative before I hang up. You know, y'all remember me talking about Lamona's and Mississippi State make a change, and you see what happened?
Yeah.
They fired him, and that team turned around.
Yeah.
The Braves lost again last night,
Yeah.
1 run.
Yeah.
They are on track to set a major league record for one-run losses. I think it's 30 or 31. They've got 20. They got to fire that guy.
Think so?
I mean, you know, I'm positive. I mean, I know he's been around and won the World Series, but he ain't Mike Bianco. No. He ain't Ron Polk. No.
Yeah.
Some guys you can't fire, but we can fire him. If they don't fire him now, they're not going to make the playoffs. But
they're not making it.
Rankin County. JT Gann pitched in that game. Hallelujah.
Yep.
I know you weren't listening to it, but JT Gann made an appearance, and he did pretty good.
Yeah.
I won't mention the whole thing, but Mississippi State guy got to make an appearance. But yeah, well, I want to plug now. Let's get rid of. Maybe we got a shot to make a playoff. The odds are like 5% out of 100 to make it in the playoffs now. But they're not going to keep it.
No.
If they keep him, they're not going to make the playoffs.
Look, they're 13 and a half games out of first place.
Yeah.
It's
only
just
7 teams make the playoffs, so it's not likely.
they're not going to make it. I mean, it would be the most miraculous of miraculous turnarounds. The Braves have lost 11 of their last 14. Let's see what else. 2, 4, 6, 8 of their last 10. 11 of 14, 8 of their last 10. Most recently, they've lost 6 of their last 7. They're pitiful.
Well, they need to fire him now. There's still a shot.
Okay. Well, I mean, it would be miraculous, and you're right. Technically, there is still a shot. It would be an unbelievable turnaround if they could do it.
The team is there. It's coaching. When you lose 20 games by 1 run, that's coaching.
Yeah, right.
That's coaching. Clearly.
Well,
they don't want to admit that. The team was there. That team could turn it around.
Yeah, last night was a 1-run loss, 5-4. They had a 2-1 loss, a 3-2. 2 of the 3 losses recently when they hosted Baltimore. One was a 3-2 game. The other was a 2-1 game. It had a 2-1 loss to the Phillies. They've got several of those too. It's almost like when you were watching some of those teams when pre-Snitker, back when Julio Teheran was their starting pitcher. They had a bunch of games where, I say their starting pitcher, when he was their ace, he was their number one. And they had a bunch of games they'd lose 2-1. Like he'd pitch lights out and they'd have no run support. And that's kind of the way they are this year.
Well, it's sad. I mean, what are we watching it for?
Hey, I'm gonna be interested in watching the home run derby though. Now they've got Brent Rooker in it.
Yeah, I heard that. That's super.
Yep.
We got more Bulldogs. Hallelujah.
Yep.
Like I said, J.K. got the pitch last night, so that was good too.
Yeah.
And again, let me compliment again one more time the Prince. That was great.
Thanks.
Have him back on.
All right, we'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll do it. Thank you,
Have a
Rooster.
good weekend. God bless.
You too. God bless you. Thanks for calling. Hey, and y'all will be interested to know. See, I don't know if I can share it or not publicly because then it's a whole. You'd hate for somebody to like sue you for a Photoshop. So I just texted it to him. But Nick and Denzel and y'all that know Philip, talking about Philip Prince Oil Company, they have the Junction delis and truck stops around the state. Brand new grand opening earlier this week at the one at Gluckstadt/Canton, across the highway from Germantown High School. And he always gets, people joke with him that he looks like Keanu Reeves, and then when he forgets to shave, he looks like, or he wears sunglasses, he looks like Kid Rock. And I saw recently there was this thing that popped up where Kid Rock was making an appearance for some place like in his hometown, and it showed him sitting in a pickup truck in the cab of the truck holding one of their cups for that particular restaurant in his hand, and the restaurant was in the background. And so I photoshopped it up and put the Junction in the background and put a Junction cup in his hand and sent it to Philip. He got a big kick out of that. And I guarantee you he looked at it first. He had to look real close to see if I'd actually photoshopped him onto his face, but it was Kid Rock. But that's what I'm saying. I don't think Philip could tell the difference. I bet he couldn't tell the difference. I don't know, though. I don't know. I wasn't there when he looked at it. I do know he got a kick out of it, though. Photoshop sometimes is a wonderful thing. Check in on Beeve. Ding, ding, ding. Where's my bell here? Beeve.
Matt Wyatt.
Happy Friday.
You too.
So, I'll miss you next week.
Oh, I already, you mentioned just in brief passing the other day that you're going on vacation.
Yeah. Toes in the sand. I'll be covered in sunscreen and bug spray all week long. You know how that goes? Sounds wonderful, doesn't it?
Yeah. There's nothing better than summertime covered in bug spray.
You don't know if they make a concoction that all at once is sunscreen and bug spray. Like you just do one can of stuff and it does both. I wonder if we have that.
You know, if you remember, there was an episode where Dwight and Rolf made their own.
Oh no, I don't remember that.
Because you think EPA would ever allow that much DEET? And they were laughing at the EPA. But in real life, I don't know.
You don't know? Yeah, okay. So the return of Always Sunny, how was it? Or what'd you think?
Oh, Matt Wyatt. Well, first, I'm really trying hard, and I succeeded. I'm having to look past Caitlin Olsen's plastic surgery face. Yeah. I still hate it. You know, I told you in High Potential, her plastic face, it really bothers me. Yeah. But I had to push through to get through these. I tell you, Matt Wyatt, there was some really, really funny stuff in these two episodes. Like I had a few hard mall moments.
Do they write all of their? Have they always written all their own stuff, or do they have a team of writers that you know of?
They have done most of it. Like some the guy who plays cricket has written some for them. Right. They'll have some come in and help them, but most of the years it's been, trying to think their names now. Of course, there's Charlie.
What's his name? Rob
Mack. By the way, he's changed his name.
Oh, wait a minute.
He doesn't want to be McElhenney anymore.
It's just
I read a story about that. Yeah, I read a story about that a few weeks ago. It said, and I couldn't figure out if it was real, so I had to keep looking. And it was in several places. It said that he's trying to change it legally to just Rob Mack because his reasoning was a lot of people just couldn't pronounce it. And I did notice that on these new episodes, it said right there, written by, I cannot remember Dennis's real name right now.
Hold on. I can't either. I'm drawing a blank. Hold on. I'm going to get it. Glenn Howerton.
Yeah, that's it. Glenn Howerton, Rob Mack, and Charlie Day.
Man, he has gotten rid of McElhaney and changed it to Mac. Okay. And he's married to Caitlin Olsen, but she's just sticking with her name. Like she's not taking his name. Am I right about that? Like in real life, they're married. Yeah, she doesn't look the same. It doesn't look like the same person. It just doesn't even look like the same person. But okay, the next one be King of the Hill, the new deal. Is it here yet, or is it only promos?
Only promos now. All 10 episodes will come out August 4th.
August 4th, man. We're inside of a month. Hey, that promo video you sent me was really good. I told you my problem with it is it's hard for me mentally to get past in this new revival of King of the Hill that Bobby has grown up, but he sounds the same as he did as a kid.
Yeah. Much. Now they released a new trailer just yesterday. That's the one I sent you.
Yeah.
And now in this one, I did notice there is a slight change. Like it does sound a little different. But for the most part, it is still 13-year-old Bobby.
Beav, I saw a recent reel, I think it was on Instagram, where help me out, the creator of King Mike Judge. Yeah, it was one of these late night shows at some point, and I don't know if it was recent. It looked relatively recent. But anyway, he was telling the story of how the Boomhauer thing came about. Because he does the voice for Boomhauer also. And he said it was based on an actual voicemail that he or they got when they first started airing the Beavis and Butthead stuff years and years ago on MTV. And it was some phone call they got. He said, and I saved it. He said, I still have it. Now think about that, Beav. He gets a voicemail, it's an actual person. And it was funny because I can't even remember what it is now, but he said that whoever left the voicemail didn't get the name of the show right, the Beavis and Butthead. He got it wrong, like in the name that this guy uttered for the show. It was really funny, but it was that kind of voice. And he said that he took that, fashioned the Boomhauer voice after that because he kept that voicemail, has kept it all these years. I'm thinking, who does that? Who keeps a voicemail just so you can go back and listen to it for 20 some or 30 some odd years, or more than that, I guess. 40 now. We're going on 40. But he's brilliant. Okay, so August 4th, when that'll jump out there and get going. I have Beav, you tell me if I'm wrong, but you said that, like with the new Always Sunny stuff coming out, and there's things about it, and in this case, your words, not mine, Caitlin Olsen's plastic face.
Yep. It's so bothersome.
It's bothersome. Her face is okay, and you said you're having to kind of get past that. I have a feeling on this new King of the Hill thing that you're not going to have things that are a hindrance to you. I just think it's going to be My gut tells me you're going to pick it up and it's going to be like it never left. And I'm sure that's what you hope, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what they're doing with the voices of characters those voice actors have passed away? I mean, I guess they've still have the characters, right?
Yeah, so the guy who did Dale, he voiced 6 episodes before he passed away, and the guy after episode 6, I forget what character. There's a guy already there, is what I'm saying though. He used to voice a character already on King of the Hill, and he's going to take over doing Dale.
Okay.
And John Redcorn, I don't know how they're going to do that, or if they're even going to
have him on
continue with that character.
And who was the one that Brittany Murphy did? I guess that character's gone too, right?
Oh, Luann.
Luann, I wonder if she's going to be in the new ones. I mean, I'm saying it would have to be a different voice, obviously, but I wonder if
that's interesting because Luann married Lucky, who was voiced by Tom Petty, who also passed away.
That's right.
So yeah, I'm not sure if you could even do those.
Beav, you think about Mike Judge, the creator of King of the Hill, who does a lot of the voices, but this is all just coming out of his head. The whole thing is his creation. And think about, you come up with something like that, it becomes an animated deal, you're doing a bunch of the voices, it's just this fun thing that you're doing creatively, it's coming out of your own head. And it rises to the point and popular enough where you can call up people that you just want to meet and get them to come be voices on your show. You know what I mean? And that's what it was like for him, as well as the Seth MacFarlane guy who did the Family Guy stuff. He was always doing that. He'd have some celebrity he wanted to meet, so he'd call them up and go, "Hey, we got a part for you as a voice on it." And they're like, "Okay, sure, yeah." That has to be a fun thing. Well, okay. Hey, another thing, Beav. Did you see the viral hockey player throwing a guy in a pond video?
Yeah.
Thoughts, opinions, otherwise?
That was so ridiculous. But there were parts of it where what I appreciated was the man that was throwing punches. Every time he punched him in the face, he yelled, "Bam." Stuff like that. And how they put when the guy first squared up and was yelling at him, and they just put the old school Chicago Bulls intro music to it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but these people that get in fights on the golf course, it's every time. I'm just thinking, why?
Yeah, why?
What are y'all doing?
And Beav, okay, let's just, and I'm not saying, we're not going for dramatic radio effect here. In reality, the number or the percentage of golf course fights that are fueled by alcohol, what do you think that percentage is?
Oh, my goodness. 99.8.
Okay, and that's reality. That's not even an exaggeration for effect on radio. That's reality. I 100% agree. 100%. Beav, listen, I need you to do something, Beav. I need you to listen to what I'm about to say. Okay, and I need you to jump in and stop me at the point that you think I'm going overboard and I'm becoming judgmental of other people, okay? If you, and that's the word, judgmental. If you catch that, just jump in and say, "Matt, stop." Okay, and I'll stop. But here I go. I do not understand the mindset of, okay, I'm going to my local golf course. My wife, my kids, they're not with me there at home or off doing something else. I'm going to the golf course. And in this case, I'm going to be with my friends. I'm going to pay to be there. Greens fee, cart fee, all that. I'm going to pay to be there, to play this game that requires steady hands, clear mind, balance, all that. But what I'm going to do is from the moment we ride out here to begin on T-Box 1, I'm going to start drinking alcohol. Okay, I'm going to pay money to be there, to play a sport. Okay, but really the reason I'm doing this is because I just want to drink and get, a little woozy, maybe get drunk, off balance. That'll be the good time that I'm going to have. And then I just don't get it. I do not understand that. I don't understand the decision making to go, this is a good idea. I'm going to do it this way. I don't get it. I will never understand it. I can't make it make sense. Something, the cord is not reaching the plug somewhere. All right. Just don't do it. Rolling along, hour 2. Back after this.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. When I say they do quality stuff, they really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, MurrayWest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered, sewn on to anything, custom apparel and other stuff, make sure you go there. Murray West, you can find them online. MurrayWest.com. That's MURRY West.com.
I had this opportunity come up to a friend of mine that was an agent here at Farm Bureau that, he said this may be something I like to do because he knew I was involved in the community. And what we do, we're supporting the community. We're doing stuff to protect the members of our community. I've been here almost a decade. And what we do, we help people every day through the products we sell. We make recommendations to them, stuff to protect their assets, protect their lives, their families, and we're local. We're local people. Everybody that works in this office has grown up here, lived here, played ball in this community. I've coached in this community, been on the park boards, the sports league boards, the booster club boards. The community is what's important here in Farm Bureau. We push the local community. We're a Mississippi company. That's a Washington School team ball from 2019. Greg Wallace was the head coach then, and him and I were really good friends. I've been in Greenville my whole entire life. My family's been here. This is home. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to support the people of Washington County, protect them. I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County. We are the home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar, or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. What that is. That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country pleasing sausage, these flavors.
Back with you, I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. Scott texted the show. He said that's the difference between grown men and grown children. I'm talking about the golf course thing. Yeah, I don't understand it. And I you know, sadly, I do know that there are some people that, you know, they get themselves in a situation where, you know, they kind of believe in their head that the only way to enjoy themselves, period, doing anything, is get drunk doing it. You know, you don't ever, and I, you know, I hate that. I feel sorry for those individuals because I wish they could see it another way. In case of that one guy, it's the one thing that ruined his day. That's a real unnamed texter. He texted the show. He said, I read that the drunk guy was at that tee box for 20 plus minutes because he was so drunk he couldn't put the ball on the tee. Not sure if I read that already. Yeah. You know, what do you do right there, right? Like if you come up behind that and you're trying to play around a golf, and let's say that you're recording scores and entering it into the system to keep your handicap stuff for whatever reason, or for tournament purposes or anything like that. Like, what do you do? I mean, do you skip them? I mean, because generally, what is it? Golf course etiquette is the group in front needs to allow you to play through if you're going to do it. But playing through is you get to play that hole. I mean, you can hopscotch them, but again, you don't know what's up there in front, and that's not really what you want to do, and you can't skip a hole if you're keeping score. So it's kind of a problem. And I guess maybe what golf courses should do is start hiring at a very competitive salary and benefits package rate. Just golf courses start hiring ex-NHL players as enforcers. Yeah, hey, Clubhouse. Yeah, we got a guy who's off his rocker up here on 16. Can't put the ball on the tee. And Lars is like, okay, I'll be there. No cell phones. You know, I mean, maybe that's what ought to happen. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. But to Scott's point, I think the best solution would be that everybody just grow up. Grow up. Consider other people. Be considerate. You're not the only person on the face of the earth. So let's approach things that way. Grumpy texts the show. What's up, Grumpy? Good to see and hear from you again. I think the last time I bumped into you was over there. Well, I don't know if you texted me since then. I don't know if I've heard from you since I met you or saw you over at Camper Corral back in the end of June. But Grumpy says, Matt, I was listening Wednesday when Andre made his MSU football prediction. Let's say two comments about his call. Grumpy hopes he is correct. Number one, he says Grumpy hopes Andre is correct. Andre predicted State was going to win 8 games. He said, number two, Andre needs a new C Spire phone. Boy, doesn't he? Grumpy signed off Hail State. Yeah. Andre, if you're listening, get back in touch, and we're going to see what we can do and get you hooked up with a new phone from C-Spire, maybe, because the signal, we all had a hard time hearing you. We got to do, and I do think that every now and then Grumpy, I should do a better job of maybe restating some of the best practices when it comes to being a radio caller. That's this show or any other. One, put the phone to your ear. I realize when you're going down the road, there's some people that, for safety reasons, they just they want to have two hands on the wheel. They don't want to hold the phone up to their ear. But when and if at all possible, at all times, and this goes for Rooster too, if you're listening, Rooster, pick that phone up and put it to your ear, because it may sound fine to you on the speakerphone deal, but on our end, it always is noticeable. And we'll hear you a lot better if you just, put the phone to your ear while we're talking. But hey, we got through it. And we got the point. The point was, he said State's going to win 8 games. Res Dog, I agree with you 100%. He said golf is hard enough sober. Right. Bama fan texts the show. He says, I know 3 or 4 of those golf guys, he says, that I was talking about. He says, I'm like, why do you play the game? You go out there, you get mad every time something wrong happens on the golf course. Why do you play? You get mad about it, trying to keep score, but you're half drunk or whole drunk by the time it's over with. None of it makes any sense whatsoever. None. So what, I'm just saying the way it looks to me. And I'm being judgmental. I'm not trying to tell somebody, it's not my place to tell someone what they ought to do. I just wish they consider that, man, life, it's, everybody's trying to cope, right? Everybody's trying to cope for something with something all the time. And there's really, if you want to call it a coping mechanism, a relationship with God, knows in the Bible, the peace that comes with that. Here I am preaching, I guess, but that's my experience, is it's not a coping mechanism, it's a hoping mechanism. And it changes your outlook, and all of a sudden things you think you need to get through a day, you don't need it. And the world and it's just like it's like things just open up. You put your faith and your hope in something that is deserving of it. It's like lifting a burden off your shoulders, and all of a sudden the things that you thought you needed or you felt tied down to, all of a sudden that's gone. And life can be a lot better. Golf can be better. You still can get mad when you hit the ball in the water, but you don't have to drink a 6-pack of beer to live with yourself anymore. I mean, try it. Blair from Brandon texted the show and said, State couldn't win 8 games on college football 26. My man is a video gamer. Y'all enjoying that as a game out? Coop in Gluckstadt. What do you say? Matt, that's all. This is not a coping mechanism. It's a hoping mechanism. Well, it's true. That's what it is. There's a hope and you put your faith in something that is worthy of it. Meaning the Lord God who gives you a hope, Jesus who died for you to give you hope. And, man, things look different. Experiences are different. Life is better. You're still going to have pain, but you're not going to go through it alone. And you're not going to have to drink something to get through it. I'm just saying. Hey, wait a minute. Oh, okay. Gene, you had me there for a second. Gene on Facebook, all I saw, Gene, before I read the whole comment that you dropped on Facebook just there, all I saw was the first couple of words where it says Jordan Westburg is starting. And I thought, have they added him to the All-Star team? And they're going to let it, you know what I'm saying. We're about to hit All-Star. I see Jordan Westburg. I see the word starting. I went, wait a minute. But what he said was, Jordan Westberg is starting to hit the cover off the ball. He is that now. Did you see that home run he hit to center field? I believe it was against the Braves the other day. What was it, 480-something feet? I mean, yeah, he hit it up on the next level and splashed it in the swimming pool up there. There have been very few balls hit there in that ballpark. Dead center field. He hit one like that. Now, it was not to that extent. I mean, this would have been, it was 4 something, but it wasn't no 470, 80 or whatever it was the other day. But when he was in college, and I think it was a game that I was helping Bart call on the SEC Plus because I remember being there. And Westberg, he had 2 strikes in a count. And in college, he would choke up on the bat and with 2 strikes to make contact, a very old school approach, and I admired it, right? Westberg chokes up 1.5 inches or 2 inches on the bat to make contact with 2 strikes and then hit one out to dead center field at Duty Noble and bounced it off that pitcher's batter's eye back there. Choked up on the bat, dead center field, 2 strikes. One of the hardest hit home runs I saw in there. But I really did get excited now the other day when, I guess it would have been, well, maybe it was yesterday. I saw where Brent Rooker is in the home run derby next week. I am looking forward to watching that because, yeah, he's a former Bulldog from the Memphis area. But Rooker, he's got that lightning fast bat speed. I don't know that he's got the number 1 bat speed. I think that's Caminero, the third baseman for the Rays, who's in the All-Star game and in the home run derby. I think he's got the fastest bat speed in the majors, at least according to the TrackMan stuff, which is hard to believe. I would think it would be Acuna, but it's not. But Rooker's up there with him. He's going to launch it now. I hope he does well. I'm looking forward to watching that. A little bit of time left with you here on this Friday. When we come back, I'm Matt. Stick around.
I was born and raised in Greenville. I've always called Greenville home. This is where I, was raised, went to high school, graduated high school, worked all my life here leading up to going to college. So even when I moved from Greenville, I always told people, they asked me where you're from, I always said I'm from Greenville. I have mother, father, brother, niece, aunt, all live here in Greenville. So this is home. This is where I, live, and I've just always called it home. Small town, I feel like I could walk in any place tomorrow and know 2 to 3 people in there. It's small town. Someone's on the side of the road broken down. Hey, you need a boost, flat tire, you need help changing it. That's just kind of, what I love about this area, the blues and the food and everything that comes along with the Mississippi Delta that I love. I tell people all the time, my business cards have my cell phone number on them for a reason. Insurance doesn't happen from 8 to 5. When you need me, it's going to be after 5. It hardly ever happens where you have a wreck, get pulled over, need an insurance card, wind blows, shingles off your roof. All these things happen, and it's typically after 5. And so the ability for someone to call me, get in contact with me, text me, ask me a question, and that's what it's about to me, is helping the people that we serve, is taking care of people, and them knowing that they can count on me whenever they need me. I am Bryan Street, with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. I say they do quality stuff. They really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, MurrayWest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough.
Mississippi Way with you. So get in on the conversation and tell him what you think right now on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you, I'm Matt, in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. They're telling you that Andre predicted State's going to win 8 games this year. ResDog texted in and said it might take 3 years for State to win 8 games. That's where he is. The plumber texted and said State will be lucky to win the cowbell competition this year. Man. Is that where we are with this? Is that where we are? It's going to be one of those kind of deals. And I'm hoping they overachieve. I mean, the schedule is super duper tough again. And it's just, it feels like you're still in you're still in build it up mode. I have great hopes that their defensive line is going to be better. They have all new players like across the front. They brought in a bunch of transfers, D1 guys. You go out and get in the pay-for-play world, pay them to come in there and shore up your defensive front. And I think they are going to be better up there. It gives them a little bit more of a chance on defense. And then, you're hoping like crazy you keep Blake Shapen healthy. If he doesn't stay healthy, then you and I both know that Kamario Taylor is going to get on the field, and really once he gets on the field, that'll be it. I don't know that. It's certainly just all it is my opinion coming out of my own head. It has nothing to do with anything anyone's told me, nothing like that. It's just my eyeballs reading it the way that I see it. But yeah. I think I saw enough to go, okay. First of all, his ceiling is, it's hard to see it. It's way up there. Okay, he is just straight out of high school, obviously. But man, he does not throw it like a kid who is straight out of high school. I mean, he's 6'4", 230 pounds. He's prototypical. In terms of a prospect of what, if you were to put one together, right? Like if you had a computer, you could put a prospect together who's first year out of high school. What's it going to look like and what's he going to throw it like? There, him. And, running a team is a big, huge responsibility. And most of the time you don't want that first year guy out of high school have to do that. They kind of experienced that last year when Shapen got hurt, right? And I don't know if you look at it as pressure, it's just life. But, Shapen, I hope he's able to stay healthy. He's a lot better thrower and that sort of thing than what people give him credit for. And if he can stay upright and be healthy throughout the year and get what he can get running and get out, then he'll have a chance to really show off. But if they put Taylor on the field, it's going to be hard to get him off the field. He looked to me to be that kind of player. Over to the phone, the number to call, 897-1059 on line 1. More Bully with us today on a Friday. What's up, More Bully?
It's me. It's the MWRE Bully. What's happening, man?
Yo. What's up?
Hey, dude. When you were talking about drinking alcohol on the golf course, you were talking about you don't know why you do it because you get all wobbly and your hands shake and your aiming's off. And you were saying it real kind of eloquently. I thought you were about to say the saying from Friday Night Lights before a game. Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose.
Yeah, that applies.
But you didn't go there.
I didn't go there, no.
So when y'all were talking about Boomhauer, I have the perfect person to play Boomhauer.
I know who you're going to say, because we used to talk about it on this radio show, didn't we?
Ooh, I don't know.
Who is it?
Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Yes. Have you not heard him try to talk?
No. I haven't.
It's awful, Matt.
Is it?
It's awful.
Does it sound like this?
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, that dang old internet, man, you just go on there and point and click, get in there and talk about www.wcom, and you got then on there, man, you go click. It's real easy.
Is that what it sounds like?
It's worse.
I thought you were going to say
Hey,
Jimbo Fisher.
Oh, that'd be a good one, too. Yeah, that would. Question, do you know the book and the movie The Boys in the Boat?
No.
Okay, you need to either read the book or watch the movie.
All right.
It's about an Olympic rowing team.
Okay.
It's really good. It's a true story. Anyway, I wasn't going to recommend that to you because I thought you had read it, but I'm going to the beach a week from tomorrow, and I just bought a book that was recommended to me by a former youth pastor.
Yeah.
And it's by the same guy, Daniel James Brown, and it's called Facing the Mountain. And it's a story of Japanese-American patriots in World War II who were imprisoned.
Yeah.
And that's all I know because I've only read like a page and a half of the prologue.
Yeah.
So he says it's really good and I'd enjoy it. So
okay.
And I'm a big World War II guy and a big patriotic person, so I'm looking forward to it.
I'm taking a book.
And
it's volume 2. It's a 2-volume series, volume 1, volume 2. This is volume 2 of a series of books called Squib Kick It to a Fat Guy by Mike Leach. Famous quotes by Mike Leach. I'm taking that one with me.
No, it's not.
That's the title of the book. I swear it is. Look it up. The title of the book is Squib Kick It to a Fat Guy. Oh, it's full of great ones.
I got to look that up. Man. But anyway, the last thing I want to say to you is you have proved the point I've been saying for years. Okay?
Okay.
That is, I don't ever have to even call a show on this station to carry the show. I mean, you mentioned my name a while ago on the first hour.
What did I say? I can't remember. I said
you were telling me to hang up.
I thought you were doing what you've done before, and that is distracting Beaver when he has work. You know, he has things he needs to do or wants to do. I just figured that might be what.
With that being said, I am the most prolific, popular, and consistent caller on the station that carries the show. And I am a perennial best caller on this show and the afternoon show. And that has been proven by you and by Jake. So, all these other yahoos need to just step to the side and let me handle it. And I'll meet you at the Coliseum Friday night at 8.
Out back of the field house. All right.
That's it. Or on the golf course.
Let's hope no ponds
Hey, man,
are involved.
have a good vacation.
You too, man. Have a good one. Thank you.
All right. See you, brother.
See you. See you. More Bully out. He is the only. What, Beef?
So the MOORE is also the triple P because he just used, he said he's, popular. What did he say? Popular.
Prolific.
Perennial.
Yeah.
Prolific. Yeah. Prolific, popular, perennial. The MOORE triple P.
My man. I was about to be silent and give him one of these. But I thought, look, it's a Friday. I'm out next week on vacation. Let's keep it positive. Yeah. Hey, listen, I have to give y'all a stat to ponder. Y'all have to ponder this stat. Let it soak in. This is my parting shot to you before taking a vacation next week. My parting shot is this. A report today from Steve Berkowitz from USA Today Sports. Plaintiff lawyers in the NCAA House settlement, that means the lawyers on behalf of the college athletes in the House ruling, plaintiff lawyers are set to receive more than $750 million in legal fees. Plaintiff lawyers in the NCAA House settlement are going to receive more than $750 million in legal fees. Should I repeat it one more time? Let this soak in. Let it soak in. Be able to quote it off the top of your head and spread the word. Who's good for college athletics? What is good for college athletes? What is positive? What is right? What makes sense? What is practical? What is pragmatic? What is healthy? Don't ask any of those questions. Just spit this out. Here it is one more time. Plaintiff lawyers in the NCAA House settlement are set to receive more than $750 million in legal fees. For Beaver, I'm Matt. All of us here on the show in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team. See you in a week.